Have you ever wondered what heaven looks like? Beyond the veil of stars we see each night? The Bible gives us glimpses, but Enoch's vision pulls the curtain wider than any man dared. Unlike the thought of heaven as one realm, Enoch describes 10 heavens layered in mystery. His journey was not a dream, but a divine summons to behold eternity's hidden dimensions. Carried by angels, he rose above the firmament, where Genesis speaks of waters above and below. In the first heaven he saw a boundless ocean, brighter and larger than Earth's wildest seas. Its waters shimmered with holy brilliance, reflecting the majesty of the Creator's design. Elders stood there, radiant in wisdom, guardians of order and harmony in God's creation. Around them moved 200 angels, directing the stars in perfect balance across the vast sky. Every light in the heavens bowed to God's will, moving as commanded, never straying off course. This first heaven declared a truth. Creation is not chaos, but divine order. Set by God's hand, Enoch trembled in awe, realizing that nothing in the universe is without purpose or plan. Yet his journey was only beginning, for higher realms waited, each revealing greater wonders. As he ascended to the second heaven, darkness swallowed him deeper than any earthly night. Here, cries of sorrow filled the air, fallen angels imprisoned, tormented and awaiting judgment. Once glorious beings, they now groaned in chains, their faces etched with endless regret. Enoch, shaken, asked his guides who these mournful beings were, and why they suffered so. The angels replied, "These are the watchers, who rebelled against God and abandoned his law. They had turned from light to follow their prince. Restrained in the higher heavens in shame, their rebellion brought corruption on earth, and for this they now endured eternal judgment." The second heaven was a warning. No power, not even angelic, escapes God's justice forever. Enoch left trembling, the echoes of their cries still haunting his mind as he rose upward. The third heaven opened before him in stunning contrast. A place of beauty and abundance. Blossoming trees bore fruit that glowed with life, while streams of milk, honey, and wine flowed. The air carried sweet fragrance, and at its center stood the radiant and holy tree of life. Crimson and gold shimmered through its branches, its roots stretching to the edges of earth. Angels whispered, "This is paradise, prepared for the righteous who lived in love and mercy. Here the poor were clothed, the hungry fed, and the humble honored with eternal rest." Yet Enoch also saw the northern side, a place of torment with rivers of unquenchable fire. Here idolaters and sorcerers screamed, punished for rejecting the ways of the Most High. Paradise and punishment lay side by side, a sobering mirror of eternity's two destinies. From paradise, Enoch rose again, entering the fourth heaven, realm of celestial wonders. The sun blazed with sevenfold light. The moon glowed silver, both guided by angelic hosts. Legions of 6-winged angels attended them, ensuring the cosmos moved in flawless harmony. The stars were not random sparks, but each had purpose, placed in paths of divine wisdom. Enoch marveled, realizing even time itself is a rhythm written by the hand of the Creator. The fourth heaven showed him creation's complexity. Every orbit, every light, every turn, nothing was chance. Every movement was a note in the symphony of God's perfect design. Then Enoch was carried into the fifth heaven, a realm heavy with sorrow and silent despair. Here he saw the Gregory, towering watchers, fallen from their noble place in God's order. They had descended to earth, taking wives and birthing giants, spreading ruin and violence. Now they stood lifeless and broken, their glory stripped, their power turned into grief. Their silence thundered louder than cries, speaking of regret too deep for words to hold. Angels told Enoch they await judgment, condemned for corrupting God's creation with pride. The fifth heaven became a lesson. Even great power cannot excuse disobedience to the Lord. From the first heaven's waters to the second's prison, to the third's paradise of life, from the fourth's cosmic harmony to the fifth silence of fallen grief, Enoch had seen much. Yet 5 more heavens remained, each carrying him closer to the throne of the Almighty God. Enoch rose higher, leaving the sorrow of the fifth heaven behind. Lifted by radiant angels, soon he entered the sixth heaven, a realm ablaze with light, harmony, and divine knowledge. 7 bands of angels moved in ordered ranks, each devoted to the study of God's creation. They traced the revolutions of stars, the turning of seasons, and the mysteries of the cosmos. Their songs of worship filled the air, melodies so pure they shook Enoch's heart with awe. In this heaven, knowledge and worship were one, wisdom itself becoming praise to the Lord. Among them stood archangels of great power, guardians of creation's order and design. They ruled in obedience, maintaining balance across heaven and earth with perfect devotion. Enoch learned here that wisdom is never separate from worship, both springing from God's glory. The sixth heaven revealed the harmony that comes when all creation aligns with His will. Then Enoch was lifted into the seventh heaven, the most fearful and glorious realm yet. Armies of fiery angels filled the expanse, hosts of cherubim, seraphim, and living thrones. Their light blazed like fire. Their voices thundered in worship, shaking the foundations. Around them was the throne of God, radiating light too pure for mortal eyes to behold. Enoch fell trembling, his strength gone, undone before the unbearable holiness of the Lord. In mercy, God sent Michael, the mighty archangel, to raise him and clothe him in glory. Garments of light wrapped Enoch. Heavenly oil anointed him, his form transformed like angels. The seventh heaven was transformation, where man became radiant in the presence of the King. It was awe, terror, and mercy woven together in a single vision of divine holiness. Here Enoch tasted eternity, standing clothed in glory before the throne of the Almighty. Yet the journey did not end. Higher still he was carried, into the eighth heaven above. This was the realm of hidden mysteries, where the fabric of creation lay bare before him. Here time itself unfolded like a scroll, beginning and end seen in a single sweeping gaze. Enoch realized life's fragments, joys, pains, delays are threads woven in God's perfect design. Nothing is wasted, nothing is random. All is part of His flawless and eternal purpose. The eighth heaven whispered, "Trust the author. He sees what you cannot. He knows what you cannot." Trials that confuse on earth are to God chapters in a story moving toward His glory. Enoch left this realm humbled, knowing divine wisdom far surpasses human understanding. Then he entered the ninth heaven, where shelves of books and records stretched endlessly. Here were written every deed, every word, every thought of every human who ever lived. Nothing was forgotten, nothing hidden, for the eyes of the Lord miss nothing under heaven. Enoch trembled, for the records told of mercy and kindness, but also sin and rebellion, yet hope whispered here too. For the blood of Christ covers the sins of all who believe. The ninth heaven declared, lives matter. Choices echo, every moment holds eternal weight. For the faithful, these records end in redemption, covered in grace, sealed with salvation. At last, Enoch reached the 10th heaven, the highest and holiest of them all. Here stood the throne of ultimate judgment, blazing with authority beyond measure. All creation gathered in reverent silence, awaiting the verdict of the eternal King. Here destiny was decided. The righteous enter joy, the wicked face eternal separation. Enoch's soul shook, for he saw history itself moving toward this great final climax. Kingdoms rise and fall, men live and die, but all flow toward this throne of judgment. For the faithful, eternal paradise awaits. For the rebellious, unending sorrow remains. The 10th heaven was the summit of truth. Eternity is real. Choices are eternal, God reigns. Enoch's journey ended, but his vision still speaks. Heaven is real. Judgment is real, hope is real. The 10 heavens are not fantasy, but mirrors of eternal truth, urging us to live prepared. From paradise to prison, from worship to judgment, Enoch's eyes saw what awaits creation. His story asks us, how will you live? For every step leads toward the throne of the Almighty. Heaven calls, eternity waits, and God's promises remain unshakable for all who walk in faith. Don't forget to hit that subscribe for more interesting stories.